Need a drink here. Oh, from high atop Scott Social Media Studios in the heart of the Cedar City with actual audio this time. This is SEC Football Review.
Hello, here
with
we go.
Mr. Jared Scott and Michael Clay. And Take two. Yep. So those of you who are going to watch this later are going to go, what the heck are those guys talking about? Well, we went on and apparently the audio did not work. Thankfully, we've got a great listening audience, and they let us know that, oh, hey, wait a second. Pablo Mac is excited, so he's like, man, I thought I lost you guys for a second there. Yeah, we did too.
Yeah. Show 15, and I'll say
this is 15.2.
Well, no, 15 shows in, and that's the first time we had to we had a mess up at the beginning with no sound.
Is it? I thought we'd done that before.
No, I don't think so.
Now this is where the audience needs to laugh.
All right, audience, here we go.
Yeah.
They've been here. They've seen us mess up.
They've seen us screw up. They've been here all along.
Good to see you out there, audience. Good to see you. Good to have you. Yeah, little mess up, but we can afford to mess up. Now, Towns just said it might have been on his end.
No, Towns, that was me dropping the ball. You know, when I have to be the tech guy, and I have to be one of the show guys.
Yeah.
And then when Michael has to be the audience guy. It's a lot of guys.
Yeah. It's a lot of guys to be.
It's a lot of guys to be, right? We don't have something called.
No.
Well, we don't have that. So
Jared, all I want you to be is you. You don't have to be everybody to me.
It's starting to sound really romantic here, Michael.
Yeah.
I'm not so sure about that.
Well, like I said, the first take. There we go. The first take, you seem down, just trying to build you up.
Well, you know, after the scores that I got on the pick'em, I mean, geez, I'm like, I'm at the very bottom again. This is 2 weeks in a row I've been at the bottom.
Yeah, so getting into the show 15.
Maybe this time I can actually figure my life out again and get back onto the winning track that I was on before. I don't know.
So tell them the format here. We're kind of give y'all a heads up what we want to talk about this week.
Yeah, so we're going to open up talking about the pick results that we had from last week. Thanks all those folks who picked with us. Then we're going to follow that with a little bit of conversation about last week's big games. And then in honor of our service members in the Army and Navy, we're going to talk a little bit about the Army-Navy game.
Yeah.
Then we're going to talk about the massacre of bowl games. Like, there's just so many. And then we're going to follow up with a little pick'em at the end for the big bowl, what we consider the big bowl games.
And we say so many bowl games, and we're not even talking about. We're talking about SEC.
Just SEC alone, right? We're not even talking about the Snoop Dogg Bowl game, which we've got a little bit of an honorable champagne back there in the back. We may pop that before the end of the show, or pop it next show. Who knows?
Yeah, who knows?
Who knows?
It might get opened one day.
It might make its debut.
Yeah.
And then we wanted to kind of give folks an idea of what we're looking at with regards to the schedule coming up as the holiday season arrives, right?
Yeah,
so there's so many things going on. So many people got stuff going on in their lives as well, right? But ultimately, scheduling-wise for us, we're going to do another show next week. So this is going to be our bowl game special.
Yeah, we'll talk bowl games tonight.
And then next week, we're going to talk CFP, talk about college football playoff.
It's the 19th, Thursday, next
And
Thursday.
then we'll have another special show that will happen on the 30th.
Yeah, so we'll be off after the 19th. We'll have Christmas break and come back on Monday the 30th.
Monday the 30th, and that's when we'll talk about the bye games that will be going in, right?
Where
they got the first round buys,
we'll know who
right?
won,
we'll know who's playing.
Yeah, so that all the top four seeds will be playing. We'll talk about those. And who they're playing.
And then we'll probably have a close out the season show after that. And I think we've got a little special announcement that we may be making in that show.
Yeah,
we'll save that
January,
as maybe a teaser in January to talk a little bit about what our plans are in the future. So
fun stuff.
Very excited to have all of those folks joining us. And yes, Pablo Mac, we are aware that you went undefeated.
Yes, we're getting there, buddy. We're getting there.
I think you just had the big Mario there, my friend. The big Mario. Or even better. Boom shakalaka.
Boom shakalaka.
There it is.
That's it. I got it to work that time.
I think you double hit it and it just...
Yeah, it didn't like that.
So get into last week. We'll run down the picks as somebody's anxious for us to say their name. Original listener, I'd say from the beginning, he's atop the leaderboard, went 5-0, and our games that we picked were the conference championship game picks. Pablo Mack 5-0. Old man Sully B12, he won it 2 weeks ago. He's holding steady 4-1. That's good. Then Towns went.
RVJ, huh,
yeah.
Towns?
Yeah.
We see how this works. We know what this is really about.
Yeah.
This is a family show.
Yeah.
Towns, family
Keep
show.
it family.
Got to keep it family here.
Boo Towns. So he went 4-1. And then.
That's a long boo.
I know it.
Jeez. Okay. Don't hit it again. We're going to be booing for another 5 minutes.
That ain't we. It's the crowd in here, man. They're lively. They like to be family oriented, not towns oriented. So then I went 3-2. Reagan went 3-2. A little log jam there, and then Blank, who I believe is Jason Williams, went 3-2.
And Ellis, it's okay to be at the bottom, buddy. We'll be at the bottom together. It's no big deal.
Yeah.
I can handle it as long as Ellis is with me. Then I can handle my losses.
That's right.
I can handle the pain and suffering. That with a little bit of beverage always helps. So have a sip of my Scott Social Media coffee.
2 weeks in a row in the basement. I like that for you, Jared.
I'm sure you do.
Man, you had 97 weeks at top, so it's time to get you. Yeah, the price is wrong. Yep.
Oh, boy.
So that's the picks from last week, and that'll get us into starting to talk this week, right?
Yep.
And so as we go, these first few games, we're just going to get into talking about them. They won't be part of the picks, right? Oh, no, we want to talk about last week's games, right?
Yep. Opening up with last
the
week's
big games, the big question.
Big ones. So talking a little bit about the biggest, in my mind, right? I mean, when we talk about SEC games, this was the big game, right?
Yeah.
Of all games. What are you looking for?
I was looking for
Oh, this is delayed, bro.
No.
What are you looking at? Oh, here?
Yeah, I like looking at that. Yeah.
I will accommodate you, my friend.
Thank you.
Whatever you want me to click on, I will click on it.
We got to get better at like more secret. I got to be more.
Get elbow bumps and punch in the face.
Yeah. All right. So,
I mean, I can handle it. You can already tell I've got my wounds here.
you got slapped.
I know it.
Don't talk back.
That's right. That's what happens when you talk back.
Yeah. So, first survey question was for last week, right?
Yeah. Speaking of survey questions, SECFootballReview.com.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go ahead and get my picks up ready to go here.
You mean you didn't have them?
No, I didn't have it ready. You know, this is me slacking off today.
Slacker.
So SECFootballReview.com, then you just click on the pick link survey link here at the bottom. You can also jump on our Facebook page and click the link there. So
yes.
But ultimately, right, first question on the list that we've kind of been pretty consistent about is which is the most exciting game from last week. And looking at these, right, Georgia's win over Texas is the opener.
Yeah.
And then we're going to break out of the SEC this week because we had the big conference championship games. And we're going to talk a little bit about, which one do you think? Whether it was Georgia versus Texas, whether it was Clemson over SMU, or whether it was Penn State's loss to Oregon, right?
Yeah.
And oddly enough, I think this week I'm actually going to pick, I'm not going to pick an SEC game.
Really?
I'm going to pick the Clemson win over SMU just simply because of the big time ramifications I felt like
that
it had.
Big,
especially on the SEC, right? I mean, that's the game that effectively said, hey, no more Alabama.
More specifically, Alabama,
No more Alabama. So feeling bad for Reagan this week, Sorry, Reagan. You know, I know that's painful for you, but, Michael's already shared his feelings on 3 lost teams making the football playoff. So,
I thought the committee got it right on that one. Can't penalize for losing the conference championship game, I don't think, and I've made a short about it. I just didn't see where Alabama. I mean, bottom line, don't lose one of the two games, Oklahoma or Vanderbilt.
Be a two-loss team,
6 and
not a
16.
three-loss.
Yeah, and don't lose to who you lost to.
Well, it does matter who you lose to.
Yeah, I think.
Well, and the other, like I had a conversation too at this was at one of the kids' basketball games.
Yeah.
And I was talking to the gentleman behind me, and we were talking a little bit about all this, and I was like, this kind of goes back to that video you and I touched on, where I was talking about what the goals of college football as a whole should be, right?
Yeah.
And thinking about, okay, if we make it exclusively Big Ten and SEC, now we're excluding a whole bunch of people.
Yeah.
And even though they may not be the top audiences, which we'll talk a little bit about that near the end of the show, but maybe not the top audiences, but this opens the door for more people to be a part of what is so great about college football.
Well, and you got people would say, well, Alabama, South Carolina, Ole Miss, if they played SMU schedule, or if they played whoever they don't think should be in schedule. Well, what do you just want, like 10 SEC teams in the college playoff?
Yeah, I mean,
we get to see that because we're SEC fans. Like, I see that all year.
Well, and even if you put together all the SEC fans, right, you need to broaden the scope of the fan base, right? And the only way to do that is to give smaller teams a chance to be on the big stage, right?
Yeah.
And this was in that video, and I meant to post that. I'll post that to Facebook. That video you and I talked about.
Yeah.
There's a really great video where they compare what's happening in college football right now to the beginning of the NFL. And in the beginning of the NFL, he talks, and just in brief, he talks about there were 3 major markets. It was New York, Chicago, and LA, right? And that was it. And the rest of the markets were struggling to survive. And the owners of the NFL teams decided, you know what? We're going to help these other teams out. And going to become a little less capitalistic and a little bit more socialistic, right? So that you give the little teams a little bit of money so that we got more competitors to play against.
That's right.
Same kind of thing here, right? I want to see more conferences participating in the big picture.
Yeah, at the end.
More competition. I want to see more action, right?
Yeah. If you want to get in, just be one of the top 3, and probably next year SEC might get 4 in. Just
like Army,
3 games.
If Army had gone undefeated, I think they'd be playing in it right now.
Yeah.
Right. So I want to see more people.
Possibly.
I want to see more people involved. Anyway, so the first question was, what was the most exciting game?
To that point, and to not that there's a lot of Army fans out there, but okay, guess what?
Shame.
No, look, Army.
Maybe not watching our show.
Beat Notre Dame and you're in. Like I would say that, one loss week. No, if you beat Notre Dame, then you have an argument to be in. But you didn't win that game.
Well, and I don't know if Jason's on the show with us tonight or not, but I think ultimately Notre Dame is probably going to reevaluate being an independent.
Yeah, I think though I think there are already talks of them joining.
And I think we've already kind of touched on where they already play. Right, they play a bunch of the. Excuse me.
But I would have picked Georgia. In the surveys, I'd pick Georgia, Texas, because overtime, that was huge.
Yeah, it's a big game.
Those two top.
And it was a close game, which makes it exciting.
Yeah, it was a very good game.
I like those close games. I don't like the 8 overtime games, even though I know you do. But 1 overtime, I'm all about that.
Oh, I'll take 12 overtime.
I know you'd love that, 15,000.
So what was the second question?
Second question, what are you most or least excited about regarding the CFP selection? Now, this kind of goes back to we did that at Selection Special on Sunday, right? Mm-hmm. So if you're in our audience, you haven't gotten a chance to watch the Selection Special, we would love for you to participate.
Yeah.
Notre Dame should go to the Big Ten. Pablo Mac, I thought about that too, but Jason pointed out that Notre Dame actually already plays all of their other sports. I believe it's in the ACC.
Yeah.
And so he was thinking that they're probably going to go ACC.
Geographically, it makes sense.
Well, but remember, ACC now is the All-Coast Conference, not the...
Yeah.
I'm still wondering if they're ever going to change their name. Of course, Big Ten isn't 10 teams anymore, but they're still the Big Ten.
No,
so
it won't. No, ACC. I bet half the people don't even know what ACC means.
Isn't it Atlantic Coast Conference?
Yeah.
I mean,
But I bet people don't. They just call it, it's the ACC.
yeah, probably not.
I bet there is. But that's where I think they're probably going. Most or least exciting? Most exciting was to see who got that last spot. SMU, for me. SMU or Alabama. That's what we were.
I'm gonna change
we
it
were
up.
sitting here-
I'm gonna stir the pot and make Reagan mad, and I'm gonna say Alabama being kicked out.
Yeah. Because I don't know if you guys know it. We did a special live show on Sunday. We came
She had
in.
9 lives. She just spent them all.
Alabama spin them all, baby.
Yeah.
Woo!
So if you didn't know, we came in and did a quick special show, and me and Jared watched them reveal the teams live, which it was a lot of fun.
I thought it was fun. Other than my technical problems at the beginning.
Yeah, they weren't bad though.
Maybe I can edit that out.
They weren't bad. It wasn't that bad.
I've got to learn how to be a better technical person.
Yeah. And then if we do have problems, though, you cover it up and don't let them know we had problems.
Bum, bum, ba-dum.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was fun. It reminded me of March Madness selection show on a smaller scale,
Yeah. And
but fun. It's fun.
And maybe we could do that someday.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure.
Who knows?
That would be fun.
Who knows?
All right.
Okay, so bringing through that, right? So that kind of covers what we were talking about pick results in last week's games. I want to talk a little bit now about everybody's favorite matchup that now means nothing but tradition and rub it in your face, and that is Army-Navy.
Yeah, and I would say people would probably argue with you saying everyone's favorite matchup.
Well, I mean, it's tradition.
Yeah. Yeah. It means, like, it
To people
me,
in the services?
Yes, no. So
It's a big deal.
my brother was in the Navy and my dad was in the Army, so
And I
This
served the
game
Army
always-
National Guard, right? I
Yeah.
did my Army basic at
Yeah.
Fort Jackson. So,
but no, I like it. I love it. And
I'm going to pick Army to cover. So this is one of our cover not covers. So just so you know,
yeah.
I'm going to pick Army to cover.
And
It's
I-
Army by 6.5.
Yeah, and I think they do cover. I think they
So I'm going to pick Army by 7.5. Bob Barker, 1 point, baby.
yeah, I think Army covers.
The $1. Bob Barker,
I
$1.
just think they're that much better this year. I was talking with my dad earlier today, and I think they're watching. But oh, look at there. So we both said we thought Army would beat them, and my dad was like, even Air Force and Navy are pretty good this year, and even at them being for their standards, I said Army is still like 2 times better
Yeah,
than both. I mean,
They're big time this year.
yeah, they really are.
So does Coast Guard? I see one of our fans here asking why can't Coast Guard get a game? I don't know. I didn't know Coast Guard has a football team. Does Coast Guard have a
No.
football team? They should.
don't. They
I feel like
should.
every service academy should have a. Now we've got the Air Force and we've got the Space Force, right?
Yeah.
So Space Force should have a football team, right? Like, why don't we have more than just Army Navy having a football team? Like
And
we should
Air
have.
Force, Army,
we should
Navy, Air
have.
Force.
We got Air Force, right? But now we need Space Force, right? And now we need Coast Guard. All of them need to have a football
Well,
team.
I would say the Navy could just pick up some Coast Guard guys if they were good enough.
Oh, but Coast Guard is its own
No, I know
thing,
it.
man.
Well, and I know this guy that asked
And
that
Space Force is its own
Look,
thing, right?
I know this guy that asked that question, and his dad was in Coast Guard.
Well, there you go.
So yeah, I don't know. He was a basketball coach too for Continental Basketball Association, a CBA.
So I need to call up my buddy Trump with my Trumpinator back there
Tell him to get
and
a
say, hey, Trump, we need Coast Guard and Space Force to have a football team.
Space Force. Is a bunch of Elon Musk guys. They're not going to
No,
be very good.
come on now. I mean, you got to be stout to be up in space, bro. You got to be stout. Like, come on. They got to go through some serious training. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Oh, wrong one.
So you don't know what you're doing.
I hit the wrong buttons.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. So
yeah.
this is somebody you know, some troublemaker that you know, huh?
Yeah, he was my roommate one of my roommates when I lived in Chicago, when me and Nate lived there, our second year,
Up in Chi-Town, huh?
yeah, we moved to another apartment, and I went to Second City with him, Jonathan Sayer, John,
Second City.
improv school, and
Wait a second. You went to improv school? There's
that's
a
why
school?
I moved to
There's
Chicago.
an improv school?
Yeah, Second City is responsible for pretty much Saturday Night Live.
You're kidding me.
You name who? Hold on, before you look that up, who is your favorite Saturday Night Live person? Did you
Will
watch?
Ferrell.
I'm not sure if he went to Second City or not. I can't remember. I think he did. But like Mike Myers,
I do like Mike Myers,
Chris
too.
Farley,
I like Chris Farley, yep.
all those guys.
Second
Saturday Night Live.
City, huh? Second City, Chicago.
Yeah, and there's one in Toronto. I mean, you look up who.
So it's a comedy club.
Well, they do shows there, but they have classes. It's a whole. They have like 3 stages. I mean, it's famous as can be.
Interesting. Yeah, I didn't know
They
anything about
produce,
this.
yeah, John Candy, John Belushi, you name. I mean, just read who.
Harold Ramis.
Yes,
Bill Murray.
Yoda
Holy
Rat-
mackerel.
they're all the one. They all.
Dan
came out-
Aykroyd.
Yes.
Like, this is like the who's who of everything when
yes.
it comes to Chris
So-
Farley. Oh, my goodness.
So when me and Nate were working at the water company, and we got to talk, and Trey introduced us and said, "Hey, y'all both like comedy. You should talk about
Y'all
it."
were both working at the water company at the same time?
Yes, that's how I. Yeah. Yeah. So,
Is that Jordan Peele from Key and Peele?
Yeah. I mean,
Tina Fey? Holy
yeah.
mackerel.
You don't now. The first year is anybody can sign up, and then to start your second year, you got to audition to get in, and then it starts getting serious from there.
Did you audition?
No, I wish I would have, but I didn't. What
Whoa,
happened there?
What just happened?
I don't know. A little flicker there. Oh,
Oh, boy. Who knows what's happening? I don't know.
I don't know.
Our audience doesn't see us.
Yeah,
That's all that matters.
that's good. Yeah. So, but yeah, it's huge, man. It's huge. So, but when we were talking about getting into comedy, I said, well, the only place I know, because back then, and even now, you know, like if you want to be a doctor, you go to school, right? You want to be a lawyer, you want to be a banker, you know, there's ways of becoming those things. But if you want to be a comedian, there's no like, oh, the only place I knew of was Second City, and they was like, okay, well, let's move there. And so we did. And then, like I always say, we moved to Chicago. Nate got a comedy career, and I got a wife.
So this is what it looks like, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. But it's,
So
yeah.
Michael Clay walking through that door down there at the
Yeah.
bottom, huh?
And then it's bigger than it looks right there. And the main stage, backstage, where I wouldn't call it a green room, but kind of the backstage waiting to go onto the stage. It's really cool. There's names all over the wall. And I know
Like the
John.
who's who list.
Oh, yeah. I wrote my name on there. John, I know he did. We wrote our names back there.
Bobby says it's the utility district, not the water company.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Thank you for coming in, Papa.
yeah,
Appreciate it.
And it's his birthday. Happy birthday.
Oh, it is. Happy
Yeah.
birthday, Bobby.
Yep. It was the bathroom. Okay. Names written everywhere. Everybody. I mean, you. And it was
Do
so-
they call it the bathroom, or is there an actual toilet in there?
no, it's in the back there before you go on stage. I want to say it's the bathroom. I can't remember for sure. But I mean, it's
So
surreal
all the
'cause
names
you
of the
see-
who's
yeah,
who.
You see Chris Farley wrote his name. You see all these people. And like whoever started it back in the day, they weren't famous yet. But I mean, it's a cool place, especially if you're into comedy, you love comedy. It's historical. It's a really, really cool place.
Never been to Chicago, so maybe my wife and I, we can get a double date going, and we can go up
Yeah.
and do a weekend at Chicago or something. She would love that.
That would be cool. Yeah.
She's a big foodie, and Chicago, from my understanding, is like one of the foodie cities of the world.
Oh, great food, dude. There's, I mean, obviously pizza, like deep dish, Chicago deep dish. Giordano's is the best pizza place in my mind. Deep dish pizza, it's the best. Now that could start a huge argument.
Huge debate.
Because then you got people from New York. Oh, New York pizza.
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
it's yeah, man. Second City is awesome. And that's where I met, not only did I meet my wife, I met John there.
Very
Lifelong friend now.
Very cool. Well, we're glad to have you, John.
Well, matter of fact, he's the North Carolina fan that posted that.
Okay, we're not glad to have you, John.
Yeah, the Yukon, North Carolina.
We're going to talk a little bit about that later on in the show.
Yeah, but he's the one I got it from.
I'm concerned that little situation is going to cause some real heartburn for the SEC coming up. So we'll see.
Yeah.
We'll talk a little bit about that near the end of the show. But
we're both picking Army to cover.
Yeah. So I don't know what the hell you're doing, but
I am. I'm picking Army.
So anyway, just to recap, right? And this is the crazy thing is Army started out at 2.5, and now it's gone to 6.5. So clearly Vegas is agreeing with us and heading in our direction. So
or I'd say clearly we're agreeing with Vegas.
That's right.
Yeah. Oh, get you a laugh.
I am the champion.
Well, I don't know if I can even play that after what I've done the past couple weeks,
Not
but
after 2 weeks of 2 and something picks.
Of the world.
All right. So next game, moving on.
okay. So now we're going to kind of break it into a little bit of a different format than what we usually do, just because there's so many games.
We're just going to
briefly touch on each one of these games, talk about the spread, and move on. This is kind of shocking to me in a way, in the fact that, Tulane, didn't they go to their championship game?
Yeah, and Army smashed them.
But they still played in a championship game. And now Florida is picked to be 14-point favorites. Started out at 9.5, and they're working their way up the ladder.
Yeah. Well, Florida's
And I remember we were talking about Billy Napier going to get fired.
Yeah. He righted the ship.
Crazy as it is, nobody's getting fired.
Yeah. No one in the SEC. That's I don't know if that's, I guess it's probably happened before, but it seems rare here lately. No coaches fired, but
it's these contracts, man. It's all the money.
That's right.
All these schools watched Auburn just like burn all their cash trying to fire people.
Yeah.
Said, no, we're not going to do that.
Yeah.
So I guess Freezy's going to be around for a while, and so will Drinky.
Yeah. Who are you talking about? Hugh Freeze.
Hugh Freeze.
The
Yeah,
other day I heard it. I was like, I don't know who Freeze. I couldn't put it together. I know who Drinky is.
Freezy is Hugh Freeze at Auburn, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he's at Auburn, right?
Is.
Am I dreaming?
Yeah.
I thought.
No, but you were referencing him, Freezy, and I'm like, I don't know who. I thought you were saying.
Okay.
So I know who you are.
But I mean, that was the whole thing. Was I thought they looked the same, and then you were like, no, you're in love with Drinky.
Yeah.
And that kind of lost the track of what they look like.
No, you started Pinkle. Gary Pinkle, that's who it was. That was the old Missouri coach.
Oh yeah, because I felt like they looked a lot alike.
Yeah.
So I feel like
hey, Hugh Freeze kind of looked like him too, right there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I feel like they look very much alike. So I mean, I'm trying to see if I can bring this up here. I don't know if I can bring this. See if I can bring this up or not.
That's Drinkowitz. And then
let me bring both of them up next to each other.
Yeah, they look similar. A little.
Let's see here. Now this should have been the survey question. Do they look the same? This is Hugh Freeze and Eli Drinkowitz, right? So Drinky and Freezy. I feel like they look the same to me.
They could be brothers. Or half brother.
I guess Hugh Freeze looks a little older, right? So that's harder to. But yeah, maybe the brother look. But Michael was just thinking that the reason why I felt like Hugh Freeze and he looked like everybody is because I've got a crush on, or why Eli Drinkowitz looks like everybody's because I got a crush on Eli Drinkowitz. And
I'm starting to think you got a little crush on Hugh Freeze because this whole year you've been talking about him coaching.
Have I?
Yeah, you have. Yeah, you would kind of favor Auburn a couple times, and I couldn't figure out why.
Maybe.
Because Auburn is one of the 3 teams that didn't make a bowl game.
They are.
Yeah, Auburn, Kentucky.
Well, and this goes back to the conversation about who we thought was going to get fired.
Yeah.
Ironically, the people that I felt like we were talking about getting fired early on in the season are all people who didn't go to bowl games. Kentucky didn't go.
Auburn and Mississippi State.
Auburn didn't go. Mississippi State didn't go. And we excluded Mississippi State simply for the fact that Mississippi State it was first year.
Yeah.
And no one is going to punish for first year.
Yeah. And then
Although MTSU may punish for first year. We'll see how that works out.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Who
Yeah,
knows?
I don't know. But yeah, everybody in the SEC is safe this year. I bet next year for sure somebody's losing their job. But yeah, Tulane, Florida. I think Florida probably. I think. Well, I'll say this with bowl games picking. It depends on who decides to sit out because they might not have all their starters.
And are
Florida-
you going to put Lagway in for this game?
That's what I'm saying. He may
Is
not-
Lagway going to play?
I don't know, but that's been the trend the last couple of years. Is these bowl games, a lot of the good teams, a lot of their starters
just opt
won't
out.
play. Yeah. So if everything's full strength, I think Florida covers, but I don't think it's going to be full strength. So I'll say
I don't think they're
Tulane.
gonna cover.
But
I
we're
think-
not picking this.
We're
so
not
it
picking
doesn't-
this one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
we're not
not one of
writing
the
this one
survey picks.
So just so you know, these are just ones we're going
Yeah.
to just chat about a little
We're
bit.
just talking about SEC being in bowl games.
Speaking of a bowl game that is going to be a shocker, I mean, Oklahoma is picked to beat Navy by 8.5. Now,
Yeah.
this is reflective, I think, more probably of the fact that Oklahoma beat Bama, right? So now all of a sudden,
not even that.
you don't think so?
I think it's reflective of Oklahoma's Big 12 SEC caliber, and Navy is
Not even in the same league.
independent. Yeah, are they independent or whatever conference they're in? Their strength of schedule. Even Oklahoma,
They're
at
8-3 and a
6-6.
weak strength of
Yeah.
schedule.
And it goes with
and
the
Vegas went from 9 to 8.5. That's not a big jump,
No.
but still, it's an indication, right?
yeah. I think Oklahoma covers. Even if they have, I think Oklahoma covers this.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I'm going to pick no. I'm going to say
Okay.
Oklahoma.
Well,
does
it's not one
But
of
see,
the-
this is also one of the ones that I lost with Bama. That was one of the weeks that I got pounded. And
Yeah.
I think I picked Bama to cover, and then they didn't even win.
Yeah.
So
Well, this is we're not. It's not one of the picks.
the
So
Lockheed Martin Armed Forces Bowl.
yeah.
It just sounds at Lockheed Martin. The name of the company just sounds
Oh, yeah.
kind of. That's another thing is like these bowl game names: Union Home Mortgage, Gasparilla Bowl. This is why we've got our Snoop bottle up here. Let's see.
Yeah.
So we didn't break it open because we're not close enough to the bowl game. Maybe we'll break it open when we get closer to the bowl game.
Yeah.
Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre have got
Sponsor their own
a new
bowl.
drink that they've come out with, and now they're going to sponsor a bowl game with it.
The gin and juice bowl, right?
Yeah, I think it was the Gin and Juice
Something like
Bowl.
that.
And the thing is like, for like $500,000, we could sponsor it as the Mike and J-Rod Bowl.
The show ain't making that kind of money yet.
Oh, come on, Michael. I thought you were loaded.
I said yet.
Who knows? Who
So
knows?
yeah, moving on. I think Oklahoma. It's not one of the survey picks.
No,
so
not a survey pick. So we'll
don't
move
need to
on.
spend a ton of time.
Now, this one, we probably should have put it on the list
Yeah, I'm a
simply
little
because
upset that you
you're the
didn't.
man,
Of
right?
course,
And,
yeah.
and Michael brought something special to put in the background,
John will remember
but
this.
he also brought something very exciting.
Yep.
This is the big boy.
This was in my apartment in Chicago.
Oh, really?
In our yeah, I've had it. John Gromos, who used
I mean, that thing's got like nicks on it. I mean, look, that's like
it was it's
real.
no, it was a practice helmet. It was a real helmet they used. It's nicked up. Now I might say that some of those nicks came from us because we used to put it on and we used to put it on in the apartment, and we had this money bag of change, and we'd hit each other with it. It was cool.
Pablo Mac, to answer your question, yes, I'm a huge Snoop Dogg fan. In fact, I have the Snoop Dogg cookbook and have made Snoop Dogg's Millionaire Bacon. So I'll have to get the Snoop Dogg cookbook out at some point in time, I guess, in a future show. But we maybe we'll do a whole cookbook episode. I've got like 15 cookbooks that I don't ever use.
Yeah.
But that's kind of a family thing, is we all buy really cookbooks for Christmas.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yes, if we didn't have copyrights, I'd probably be playing Snoop Dogg songs every single
wow.
show. But until then, we just have to be the typical sounds.
That's right. Yeah. So Yes, that helmet did sit beside a piece of AstroTurf that came from Vanderbilt's field. That piece of AstroTurf was belonged to Nate. He got it when they tore the field up.
Oh, Nate got a piece of
Yeah,
AstroTurf,
because he's a big Vandy fan too. But yeah, so we had on a mantle, we had the helmet, and we had the piece of Vandy's football AstroTurf there.
You had like your little, what you call it? Your little shrine.
Yeah,
That's the word I was looking for.
Yeah, that's exactly.
You read my
right.
mind. The
Yeah.
Vanderbilt Shrine.
So, me, John, and Nate went on probably one of the best 2-day sports trips you could ever, well, for our age at that time, early 20s. We went down, Vandy played Indiana in basketball at Indiana. So we drove down.
Hoosier basketball and Vanderbilt basketball.
Yeah.
That's like legit stuff right there.
Yes. So we went down there, drove down, watched the game. We got tickets, watched Vandy in Indiana. I think Indiana played, or Indiana won. Stayed the night. The next morning we got up.
So did Nate go with you too, or was it
Yeah,
just you and John?
no, me, John, and Nate. Because Nate,
All three of you
Yeah,
went.
yeah. This is when we lived in Chicago and roommates, and Nate could get tickets to Vandy. His mom worked in the Vandy ticket office at the time.
Oh, wow. You guys got the hookup.
So we went down there, watched the game, got up the next morning, was like, let's see if we can go see the court again. Because, you know, that's where Indiana basketball is huge.
Hoosier basketball
Hey,
is something.
For it to be that prestigious, we walked out on the court. We relived when Bobby Knight threw the chair, like we reenacted that. No one was there. We walked onto the court. We did all that. Then we walked and was like, I wonder if we get on the football field. We walked onto the football field. I was like, where's
That would have
everybody
never
at?
happened
Yeah.
in SEC. Never.
So left there, we're driving back. Hey, let's stop in Indianapolis. The NCAA College Sports Hall of Fame is there. We go into that. Awesome. Has all of March Madness, anything pertaining to NCAA through the years.
That was some kind of
It's
trip.
a great museum. All right. We're there. Well, John's dad had coached in the CBA, minor league basketball. Knew they're from Michigan. I can't remember. One of the guys his dad knew from coaching. He played for the Pistons for a while. Was assistant coach for the Orlando Magic, and they were playing the Bulls that night. So we hustled.
Oh, my goodness.
I don't know how we figure out.
You got
they were
back
in
to
town
Chicago to watch
and
the
went to the
Magic
game.
versus
So
the Bulls.
Yeah,
What
watched
year
that
was
game.
that? Michael Jordan wasn't playing then.
No. This was 02, 03. One of those years, 02, 03. Probably 02 going into 03.
Wow.
Awesome. Mark Hughes was his name. And I think he played for the Pistons at one time, but yeah.
Mark Hughes.
And then we got to meet him afterwards. We went down and talked
Is
to
that
him.
the person who hooked you up with the tickets? Is that what it was?
That's who John's dad knew.
Oh, gotcha.
And and John knew this Mark Hughes guy. Michigan
1989
basketball.
Michigan
Yeah.
basketball team champion.
Yeah. NCAA. Cool. And I can't remember who was on the teams that year for Orlando Magic, but we saw a lot of the.
That'd be some great
Players.
stories, huh?
Yeah. Oh, it was awesome. We stood down there and talked to them for a while and saw all the players talking to their families. It was real cool. And then
That's like the mega sports weekend for basketball.
Yes, it was awesome. It was so cool. But yeah, that was when we were young and could just up and go at any time.
Didn't have kids,
So
didn't
fun.
have responsibilities.
Yeah.
Didn't have jobs.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh man, it was great.
The days.
Yep.
Days.
So Georgia Tech, Vandy.
Georgia Tech is expected to win this by 2.5. I'm telling you right now, I'm picking Vandy all day long. Georgia Tech is just not like Vandy. Well, who knows whether or not your boy is going to play.
I bet he does. He plays. I bet Pavia
I need to look and
does.
see. I didn't even look and see what Pavia's situation was.
Yeah.
Oh, John's girlfriend was at Indiana. Now we know the real motivation for going to Indiana.
Yeah.
So John could go see his honey, huh?
Yeah. That's funny. So yeah, Georgia. I don't know. I think Pavia plays, but I'm not feeling good. The last game I watched, Georgia Tech. They were
I
playing
haven't been
Georgia.
following the Pavia lawsuit lately.
Yeah, I don't know.
Misspelled lawsuit. Pavia denied TRO request.
There you go. That doesn't make sense. That was November the 13th.
Oh, the temporary restraining order was denied.
Yeah.
But it didn't get closed entirely.
Yeah. No, you've already talked more about what's happened since then. That's an old article.
This is old.
Yeah. I don't think Vandy. I think Georgia Tech wins, probably covers. I have a weird feeling about it. Hope they prove me wrong.
He's still awaiting the federal judge's decision.
But yeah.
So, and I think that was when I talked about how the federal judge was asking about when the portal closed. I think that was the situation last time we checked.
Yeah.
This was 7 days ago. Who's WPLN?
And that was a week ago when it came out. So we were talking about it last week, 7 days ago. But yeah, I don't think Georgia Tech, or I don't think Vandy. I think Georgia Tech wins. I hate to say that. So
Wonder if Pavia
should be a good game.
Wonder if they're gonna sit Pavia until afterwards and then make a decision.
Why would they sit him? That doesn't.
No,
make
I'm not
sense.
talking about Vanderbilt sitting him. I'm talking about the judge saying,
Oh,
"Hey, I'm not going to make a decision until after the portal closes, and then I'm going to say no." So that I'm not like.
I don't think that matters to the judge.
Why would he ask about the portal closing then?
I thought you said Pavia asked about it.
No.
Oh, the judge asked.
The judge asked about when the portal closed.
I don't know.
It's interesting.
I don't know.
Well, I think we went down that rabbit hole a little too long.
Yes, we did.
So
I tried to pull it back a couple times.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that. Okay, so talking about rabbit holes, this one we could go on for forever about this one. So Texas Tech versus Arkansas. This was that Texas Tech coach that we played the audio clip. If you've not seen it, you've got to see that show. That was a really good audio clip where the Texas Tech guy was pointing out that this little deal is a little messed up, man. The way people are talking about it. So it's a very good clip. You need to go back and watch that show. But anyway,
he made great points about other conferences needing to get better
clearly
looks.
The Dogs think so too.
Yeah. Yeah, he made great point. He convinced me.
Yeah, I mean it was pretty convincing. And so
he better win though.
But that was his point about making it bigger than just the SEC and the Big Ten.
Yeah,
he made a very strong point to that, and I mean that's ultimately really what the committee did by putting in SMU and
because he basically said which Georgia ended up winning the conference. Clemson ACC true ACC team won. Clemson
the traditional
won.
teams ended up winning them,
other than Oregon.
Yeah. So,
well, and Arizona State, Pac-12 did win, so all but the Big Ten. I'm sorry, no. Pac-12 and Big Ten won their new conferences. Because Arizona State was Pac-12.
But I mean, there was the potential for all
12.
of them to be.
Yeah, but SEC stood strong, took care of business.
Just barely.
And ACC did
just
too.
Barely. Barely. But anyway, Tennessee Tech versus Arkansas.
Nope.
Or Texas Tech, I'm sorry. I've got Tennessee on my mind.
Wouldn't that be crazy? Tennessee Tech.
Yeah, I don't see that happening.
No.
That's like MTSU. Terrible. Texas Tech versus Arkansas. They're picking Texas Tech to beat Arkansas by 3.
Yeah, and I don't know.
And Arkansas's got a mess. So this kind of brings up a little bit of the portal talk.
Yeah. I'm going to say Texas Tech covers.
Arkansas recruited a bunch of players.
Well, they're all.
But then a whole bunch of players went to the portal.
Well, the players that have, because they signed.
You want to save that for later on in the show?
I'll say right here, just for Arkansas, they signed 25 players. Was it? Yeah.
And how many went to the portal? Wasn't it like 20?
Well, but there's a difference though. So the signed players can't play it. They come in next year.
Right. So this game could be portal, Arkansas has nobody
That's
playing.
what I'm saying. And so
all the portal guys are not going to play.
But a couple of them's already come back. Running back who said he was going, withdrew his name, is back in within 2 days come back. And then today another cornerback that 2 days ago put his name in, withdrew and staying. And
Are
then
they realizing that the portal's not that exciting?
they probably, well,
There's
yeah,
not
they
as
probably
much
didn't get
money
many-
out there as they
They
thought?
saw what kind of looks they might get. Probably early on didn't get any looks, or it could have been a leverage play. Jump in.
And then
We're leaving.
Then Arkansas
said,
says, "Hey,
"Ho,
no,
ho,
no, 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 no.
we'll
We
make
need to
it
give you
worth
more
your-
money.
We'll make it worth your stay.
We'll make it
if you
work."
stay." Yeah, could have been the total leverage.
Okay, Jason, we
knows?
know. Go Irish. Go
Yeah.
Irish.
But I think, they still, because what they say, like 22 players jumped in the portal from Arkansas.
It was a lot.
Yeah.
was
So
a lot.
even a couple come back, I think Texas Tech wins.
That first article had Arkansas being the team that had the most players go into the portal.
Yeah.
And I think that the second article I looked at did not.
Didn't
I
have.
shared those with you.
Yeah, yeah.
And it was crazy because the numbers were changing so dramatically one article to the next. I mean, it just
Yeah.
the news around the portal is just happening so quick. It's okay, buddy. We're glad you joined us, Jason. we'll take those Irish fans any day.
That's right.
Who knows? Maybe the Irish will be in the SEC someday. Who knows?
Nah, I doubt that. They'd be too scared to do that. Yeah. No way.
Okay, so I think
Texas Tech covers and wins, but this ain't a picker one.
it ain't a picker
nose
one, so
picker. But
ain't a nose picker.
yeah.
Okay, so looking on to the next game, and just keep in mind, right? This was and I'm gonna just for fun, right? The Birmingham Bowl. So we talked about the Lockheed Martin arm. The Birmingham Bowl. Where's the sponsor? Is that the city of Birmingham? I guess that's sponsoring the Birmingham Bowl.
Yeah, probably so.
We talked about going to this, and then I started thinking about how cold it's going to be, and I started thinking, maybe I'll just stay at home and watch it in front of it. Okay, and then the Arkansas is going to be the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. And that one's going to be in Memphis, correct?
Yep.
That would be short, reasonable distance.
I'd
maybe.
like to go to this bowl. Las Vegas.
Las Vegas, Texas A&M playing University of Southern California, not South
USC,
Carolina,
yeah.
USC. So,
Well, Texas A&M's. Well, he was the starter at the beginning of the year. Wegman, he's in the portal.
oh, is he?
But the backup who ended up
backup's
starting,
playing
yeah,
now,
yeah,
though.
yeah. So I don't know that affects anything.
He lost his job and then had to go.
This
to the
is
portal to get
interesting.
some play.
USC is a 3-point favorite.
And it went from 1.
Yeah.
So Vegas is leaning more towards USC.
I will say at the beginning of the year, USC beat LSU. So I'd say it's up in the air. I wouldn't put any money on this game.
They're a 500 team though, like 6 and
Yeah.
6.
I'm gonna go Texas A&M.
And they're not playing SEC, so and Texas A&M's 8-4 in the SEC. That's
right.
I think that says a lot. And if I remember correctly, A&M had some big wins.
But USC's Big Ten now,
Yeah, I guess
so you could argue that they,
Yeah, but 6 and 6 in the Big Ten versus 8-4 in the SEC.
well, it depends schedule.
Depends on who you play in the
Because
conference.
I think USC played Ohio State. I think they played Oregon. They played Penn State. I think they played all three. Maybe
they
not.
played all the big boys. Huh?
Yeah, look at their. I think. Could be wrong.
Played LSU, played
See,
Michigan.
Wisconsin. They lost to Penn State. Oh no, never mind.
That was it.
Lost to Notre
Lost to
Dame.
Notre Dame.
No.
Jason, how you like that?
Yeah.
Jason, that lost to Notre Dame.
Okay, I'm convinced Texas A&M wins. Scratch all that I was talking about. Strength of schedule.
Well, just be thankful this isn't on the nose picker. This isn't
Yeah.
on the nose picker list. So
I think Texas A&M. They're giving Texas A&M 3 points. Yeah, USC does not cover.
yeah, USC does not, because you're saying USC's not even going to win.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, next game. Looking at this next one. This next one here is Baylor versus LSU in the Kinder's Texas Bowl.
Yeah.
What is Kinder's?
It's a little chocolate. The only reason I know because Moxie loves them. It comes in a little Kinder egg about this big. And
So the chocolate company's
and the-
got enough money.
yeah.
You sure it's that Kinder's?
Oh, maybe it's barbecue sauce. What is that?
Kinder's barbecue sauce.
Huh? What am I talking about?
I
I
don't
swear
know
it's
what
an
the heck you're
egg. It's a
talking
little
about.
Kinder egg. Put in a Kinder egg. Now,
Kinder egg.
Yeah, Kinder egg. Because that's a barbecue sauce there. See? That's what I think of.
Yeah,
The Kinder egg.
that's interesting.
Oh,
So
well.
let's see. Kinder's Texas Bowl.
So I guess that
The
makes
sauce makes more sense.
Yeah,
for
because it's
Bowl.
Texas, 100%. It makes more sense. It's
Yeah.
got to be the barbecue, not a Kinder chocolate egg.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? I don't know. This goes back to what the heck?
Yeah, that's the.
Yeah, it's the barbecue because it's got the horns.
So I.
they got some brand recognition out of this one with me. I've never heard of them before.
Yeah,
so.
that's a new one on me for sure.
So they got something for their $500,000 that they spent. I don't know. Some of these, so the lower bowls can range from $350,000 to $500,000. So it could be $350,000.
But then didn't it get up in like the big
bowls are in
like
the millions,
30 million
right?
or something?
Yeah.
Crazy. This is basically a pick'em. LSU's favored by 1. I don't know. I wouldn't know who to steer or pick. I'm gonna go LSU just because SEC. I really didn't see anything of Baylor this year. I didn't watch, so.
Whoa. This is a 3-year sponsorship deal for Kinder's Texas Bowl. $3 million annually.
These are bigger teams. I wouldn't have thought it. I could see that.
$3 million.
Yeah, because you're reaching the SEC and Big 12 in this.
Wow.
That makes sense. I could see that.
Barbecue chocolate. Jason says we're smoking some barbecue chocolate. Oh,
I like that.
I like turtles.
Yeah, I like turtles too.
So yeah, that's what we getting into where we get back to picking on our.
Yeah, picking on the survey. So
Survey? Is this the
remember
next thing?
SECFootballReview.com and click on the SEC Football Review picks. Please pick with us. We'd love to have more pickers. And we're starting out now into the SEC stuff with Iowa versus Missouri. And
Missouri favored by 3.
now, keep in mind, these bowls, one of the things that we wanted to talk a little bit about is that the picks right now, we realize that the spreads will likely change as we get closer to these bowls because this one's not until the 30th, right?
Yeah.
So
it may
there's a long
change.
ways between now and then. But because of the scheduling that we were talked about earlier in the show, we want to try to knock out all as our bowl special today. So we're going to knock out these. And when you pick, you're picking based on the spread that we see today. So
Yeah, we're not going to change. It's going to stay whatever you get it at today.
And this spread has moved from 1.5 to 3.
In Missouri's favor, so.
So no more half-point Bob Barker for me. What a shame. We still play the music anyway, right?
Yeah.
I guess I'll pick Missouri. Oh, am I going to pick Missouri to cover? I don't like Drinky.
I almost want to ban you from ever picking Missouri to cup. Like,
This is
I think you should
Iowa.
always pick against them.
Hawkeyes.
You should-
Didn't Iowa play in like a big game? What was the? Man, I'm blanking now. I thought for sure they played in a big game that was relevant to the big picture.
No, because they lost early to Iowa State, and they lost. Yeah, I mean they're 9-3, right?
They beat Nebraska on the 29th. That's not a conference game,
Yeah, it is too.
is it?
Mm-hmm. Nebraska's Big 10 now.
No, I mean that's not like the conference championship.
Oh no, that was regular season.
They lost to UCLA.
Using the
Lost to Michigan State.
so
they
they're
lost
8-4.
big time to Ohio State. Holy
Yeah.
crap! Ohio State beat
Yeah.
them 35-7.
I'm going Missouri.
Because of my feelings about Drinky, I think I don't really have a choice.
Yeah, you can't even go with your heart, even if you think Missouri.
But Missouri's expected to win this by 3. So
I don't know. Now that you've revealed your crush, maybe you can start picking for Drinky. You hated on him so much it was because you secretly had a crush on him.
okay. So I'm gonna now that I've revealed my crush, I guess I will pick Missouri to cover the
You're
3
free-
points.
yeah, you're
I'm
free to pick.
Free to pick.
And so a lot of these things were.
You ever seen Kung Fu Panda?
Yeah, but I didn't pay attention to it. I mean,
Too much of a kid show for you.
Yeah, not enough to really.
In the movie, you are free to eat.
Uh,
You are free to eat. So I am free to pick. I'm making my pick right now. I'm picking Missouri by 3. cover. So 4 points. Hit it, Bob Barker.
Oh, is it a 4 point? No, 3. Oh, you're saying 1 point.
I like to throw you off.
Drive
there.
me crazy with that.
I know it.
So
I don't know if can Missouri win by 4.
Yeah.
Let's see. Missouri could win by 4.
You can win by anything but half points,
anything but
Jared.
half points. That's right.
You can win. What do you can they win? By? They can win by however they want to win, just not half points.
Just not half points.
Yeah.
So what's the over under on this one? I'm curious.
40 points. Going to be low scoring.
No, it's 40 and a half.
Yeah, 40 and a half. So that means
Somebody's gonna get a half point.
God, you drive me crazy. You drive me. Or is this the? I can't remember. Do we got a buzzer? No. There it is. It's been a while.
Took you a while to find that buzzer, didn't it?
Yeah.
I found my half point. I found my half point over under 40 and a half.
Oh man.
They took away my half point on my spread, so I had to get my...
Sitting in here long enough with you has rubbed off on me. Can't figure out the sound buttons.
Making you crazy?
Yeah. I really couldn't figure it out. Oh, man. So, no, I was getting to... We joke about Drinkowitz and drinking your crush. Watch our shorts. We're doing what you'd call callbacks to old shows. And we've been doing enough shows. We got enough kind of inside jokes. Some people that's been watching may get it. But we make shorts, so go to our YouTube page. We put out
If you're
shorts.
a newbie and you haven't watched all of our past shows, you don't have to watch the whole show. You just go watch our shorts.
Yeah, watch the shorts. If you like that, then watch the rest of that show. But we're trying to put out a lot more shorts.
Here's the 411, folks. Say some gangster is dissing your fly girl.
I'm still not even sure why you push this button.
I love it.
Every time you push it, I'm like, I don't know what he means by this.
If they're dissing our...
I do know what it means. It's a joke.
Oh, gosh.
Jared, this is the best.
I want to hit another button, but I don't know which one I want to hit.
You hit my nose, maybe.
There you go.
There we go. So, watch shorts, like them, share them, subscribe to the page. But I think we got some good ones out there. It's just a matter of people seeing them and saying, oh, that's a good laugh.
And this bowl is a special bowl because it is the Trans Perfect.
Oh,
Music
this is
City
here
Bowl.
in Nashville. I didn't see that.
Yeah.
Music City Bowl.
Drinky's coming to Nashville. I need to go meet Drinky. Maybe we should broadcast live from the Trans Perfect Music City Bowl.
Oh, my gosh. This is your chance.
That's on the 30th, too.
Yeah.
That's when we're supposed to do our show.
Oh,
Maybe I should take off from work. You don't have any more days to take off.
No.
Heck
I
of
used
it.
them all up. Dude, that's hilarious.
So you can't get a day off, huh?
realize- no,
Maybe we
I
could
could call in
broadcast live
sick.
from the company.
I could call it.
No,
then
what did he say? The utility company.
The utility district,
The
yeah.
utility district. Broadcast live from the utility district.
Yeah.
Bobby could be our special guest on the show.
Yeah, that's right.
You think the utility district will give us an internet connection?
No. No,
They'd say,
I don't think
you guys
so.
need to get out of here.
Yeah,
Get out of here.
that's right.
Broadcast live in front of it, freezing to death with big parkas on.
It's not. Well, yeah, it could be.
It could be really cold on the 30th.
it could be.
Really cold on the 30th.
So
I don't think calling in sick and announcing that on the show is the wise
And
decision.
then having a live show. Yeah, that wouldn't work.
Call in
out.
sick and then be broadcasting live from the. Maybe you could negotiate that they give you, your next year's vacation day starting a couple days early or something.
Yeah, it could.
I mean, are you a good worker and you know your boss and they like to accommodate you because you're a hard worker?
That question could be up for debate depending on who you asked. I don't know. If you ask me, yeah, I'm a good worker. But if you ask someone else,
Hey, maybe your boss may be like, I don't know if I want
Yeah,
you taking off. That's not a.
you don't need to be going around asking those questions.
Papa will give us some direct opinion on that one.
Yeah, ask him off the record.
Off the record. Don't give any in the chat there, Papa. We
Yeah.
need to have that conversation on the side.
Yeah, that's
Out
right.
behind the woodshed. As Reagan likes to say.
Oh man,
Man, that
Moving
might be
on.
exciting
Yeah,
too.
that would be.
I don't know if man, that'd be great to pull off. I don't know.
I don't know where. Yeah,
We'd have
it'd be
to
fun, but
negotiate something to get that to work out.
yeah.
Well, I don't
Because
know.
it's all about internet connection. I was going to say you just go get a parking pass when we sit up in a parking spot, but like you said before,
If we don't have
couldn't
a
get
stable
internet
live
connection.
stream,
Yeah,
that's
it
going to be a
wouldn't work.
problem.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to like that.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to like that. And it's not like we have connections with Missouri. It'd be one thing if it was Vanderbilt. Maybe we'd have a connection there.
Yeah,
You know, being that I'm an alumnus
you should. Yeah,
and, you know, you're a
Pull some
huge fan
strings.
that
Yeah.
has a helmet.
yeah, but has no money, so I'm no good to them with no money.
Who knows? Who
Yeah.
knows?
All right, moving on to the next game.
I know Drinky's definitely not going to want me to be
Yeah, if he ever saw some
If
of
he
our,
saw
yeah.
any of our show, he'd be like, "Nah, those guys not gonna be there. Forget them."
He would give you. He put a restraining order
That's right.
against you. Yeah. Oh, I've seen his shorts.
Oh, I've seen his shorts. That guy's not allowed in the stadium.
Don't even allow him in the same
He
county.
can't even be in the Davidson County. He has to stay in Wilson County where he's at.
Stay a county away from me.
He needs to stay over there high atop
Yeah.
Scott Social Media
Yeah, Stay in his
Studios.
little tower over there.
Not here in Music City, that's
Yep.
for sure. That's
Oh
funny.
my gosh, yeah. That's good.
Oh, Drinky.
What's
That's
our
right.
next game there, Jared?
Oh, Bama. I don't even think Reagan's joining us today.
Oh, yeah.
Is Reagan joining us today? Bama versus Michigan.
And if John's he's from Michigan. He's a big Michigan fan.
The ReliaQuest Bowl. Where is the ReliaQuest Bowl? I don't even know where this is.
I don't either.
Is that sad?
I wonder. Scroll down.
I should
scroll
know
down.
this.
It's at the bottom, I bet.
Well, you know, I'm going to go to my friendly neighborhood Google here.
Okay, let Google help you then.
I like the logos. Oh, there's palm trees, so this has got to be in a good location.
Tampa Bay. It's right under there.
Oh, there's two Tampa Bay Bowls. I remember
Yeah.
seeing this. There's the ReliaQuest and the Gasparilla,
Yep.
and that both of those are they? I think they're in the same stadium, aren't they?
Yeah, but they're far enough dates away from each other.
Man, if I had a stadium, that's genius, right? You have two bowls in my stadium within like 2 weeks of
that's
each other.
Yeah. Well, when you have good weather, people
do
want to
that.
come there and play. Yeah.
Or when you have a stadium that's covered like Titans are going to have.
Yeah. I don't like domes, man.
Did you know that Vanderbilt is expected to host the FCS championship?
That's cool. No, I did not know. This year?
Yeah, it just came out in the news the other day.
Their
Nashville's-
stadium's not done.
Nashville's going to host, no, not this year,
Next year. Okay.
2026, 27 maybe, something like that.
Yeah. Well, that makes sense because
it'll be a brand new stadium then,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, and
So-
it'll be nice. I agree with John. He says, "How is this a game?"
Bandwagon Michigan fan.
I would, if I'm,
How is this a game? I can tell you how this is a game. Michigan beat Ohio State. That's how this is a game.
dude. But if Alabama has this goes back to if it's full strength, I think they smash them. Michigan is not. Texas handled
Michigan
them.
has won their national championship
Yeah,
already.
that's a rivalry. So you
They
can't base.
they won their national championship at the end of the season. They're done.
Yeah, and you can't base a rivalry game how they play in that because
It's not real. It's not the same.
everybody plays.
Oh
Unbelievable.
yeah, when they're about to punch each other out while they're stabbing flags into the middle of the field.
Yeah. He said the only way Bama loses is if they show up wearing Ohio State helmets. That's a shot at Ohio.
It's pretty close.
Yeah, no,
I mean, their helmets
yeah.
are pretty close. They just got to mix up the colors a little bit
Yeah.
there.
I don't
I mean,
think.
doesn't Ohio State have a red stripe on top of a silver helmet?
Yeah, they have the.
And Bama's got the
so-
red stripe on top of a white stripe on top of a red
Yeah.
helmet. I mean, it's pretty
No,
close.
it's not red. It's crimson.
Crimson. Yes, the Crimson Tide.
Crimson and clover. Ain't that a song?
High tide. High tide. High tide. High tide.
High tide's coming.
High
to-
tide. High tide.
Yeah.
High tide, guys.
Oh,
High tide. High
I
tide.
didn't know what you were saying.
Yeah, high tide from the commercial, right?
No, I haven't seen. What
You've
is
not seen the
this?
commercial?
No, and I'm sorry I let you down.
So there's a commercial where the Alabama bus is pulled up, right?
Uh-huh.
And this guy's got a new hat on, a brand new hat, and he's trying to be a Bama fan, but he's never been a Bama fan
So he
before.
hasn't- yeah.
So every time one of the players gets off the bus, he goes, "High tide, guys! High tide!" And then the girl next to him whispers, "It's roll,
Roll
tide."
Tide.
not high tide. And
I
he
like
goes,
high
oh
tide.
no. And then she rips the little tag off of his hat.
Yeah.
And he's, oh yes, roll tide, roll tide.
I like high tide. I think
High tide, high tide, high tide.
I like that.
Now every time Reagan says something, that's going to be high tide. I need to get a clip of that guy saying high tide, high tide. You got to see that commercial. I have to show it to you.
I do, because that actually sounds very funny.
Very funny commercial. Very funny. Very rarely do I watch commercials, but that one I watch.
I only watch them during the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I usually try to fast forward, but
Through Super Bowl? That's why you watch the Super Bowl commercials.
no, I'm not talking about the Super Bowl. I'm talking about just commercials
just
in general.
Yeah, I think.
Right.
Yeah, who watches commercials anymore?
So Tampa Stadium is the original home of the Hall of Fame. What Hall of Fame?
I don't know.
What Hall of Fame was in Tampa Stadium?
Hall of Fame Bowl / Outback Bowl. That was the name of Hall of Fame Bowl. That's what they're meaning. It was called the Hall of Fame Bowl.
In the spring of 1986, the National Football Foundation and College Football Hall of Fame decided to discontinue their association with the bowl. Oh, it used to be called the Hall of Fame Bowl.
Yes.
Gotcha. That's not where the College Football Hall of Fame is, though, is it?
No. No, they just had their own bowl game and then disassociated their name with it. I think at one time it was in.
It's in Atlanta.
No, yeah, the Hall of Fame, but the bowl is what they're talking about. Their name, it was called the Hall of Fame Bowl for a while.
Oh, basically sponsored by the College Football Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Now the Hall of Fame is sponsored by Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that. So the College
Chick-fil-A
Football
Bowl.
Hall of Fame is sponsored by Chick-fil-A.
Mm-hmm. That's it makes sense. Chick-fil-A is based out of Atlanta.
Yep. Don't they sponsor a bowl too? I thought there was a Chick-fil-A bowl.
Yeah, and it's
in Atlanta, right?
Yeah.
So now it's the Outback Bowl and the ReliaQuest Bowl.
Yeah. So let's get back over here to these picks. Gee whiz. I need you're like one of them little kids that they have a backpack on with a leash. They get too far away, the parent yanks them back.
It's okay. That's what this show's about, is going down rabbit holes.
Yeah.
Okay, so picking Alabama has gone from 11.5 point favorite to a 10-point favorite. So Vegas is leaning towards Michigan now. That's interesting.
Yeah. Well, lean, meaning...
I'm going to pick Bama to cover.
Yeah, I am too. And when you say lean, that doesn't mean, they think Michigan...
When I say leaning, it doesn't mean Michigan's going to win. They're leaning from where they were
smaller,
towards. They're heading towards. It's only by half a point, so it's not significant.
Oh, point and a half.
Was it a point and a half?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, it is.
Yeah.
11.5 to 10.
I'm going to stay cover as well.
Man, I don't know. If it doesn't have a half point anymore, I don't know if I can really
Yeah, so pick along with us.
It's 42.5 to cover. So
Over under.
over under on the 42.5 on the over under.
That was a
not on the cover.
42.5 point spread.
Bum, bum, ba-dum.
Yeah,
Okay, so I'm gonna pick Bama
I am too.
covers. Bama by 11.
But does Milroe play? That's the whole thing. You don't know who's playing in these games anymore. So, and that spread, that's the only thing.
If you're against Michigan, even with who's their backup quarterback?
I don't know.
Reagan
not
would
really
know.
sure.
Reagan's not watching the show tonight.
So the
Shame
next
for him.
you pick Alabama. I pick Alabama next game. All right. It's
Alabama backup quarterback. Oh my gosh, is this somebody that's never played? Alabama backup quarterback enters the transfer portal
Oh, okay.
1 day ago.
So
Lonergan, a 6'2", 214-pound quarterback.
Wow.
Is that's not who played whenever what's his name was out. Didn't Milroe go out for a little bit and they put in another quarterback?
Yeah, they had somebody else in, but I don't know. That's back in March.
He's too old.
Yeah. Well, you're yeah. I mean,
This is November here.
yeah. I'm not sure. But,
Simpson. So it's still Simpson.
Yeah, yeah.
Ty Simpson. He hasn't. I wonder if he's played any snaps.
I'm not sure.
Are you telling me I'm running around running
Yeah.
off down a rabbit hole again?
Yeah. I don't know if you remember our pre-show talks, but you've blown that out of the water.
Trying to be more on task. 5-star recruit. He was rated a 5-star recruit.
Played in Martin, Tennessee.
Yep.
But
5-star recruit at Alabama, playing for Alabama against Michigan.
yeah, he's probably
Is
decent.
Michigan's first-string quarterback a 5-star recruit?
Probably not.
Probably not. So I would say Alabama.
Yeah. Their quarterbacks transfer to other schools.
Reagan would love to hear me pick Alabama anyway.
Yeah. I think it's the bowl games are so hard to pick.
Because you don't know who's going to play and who's not going to play.
Yeah, the last couple of years, it's gotten even worse. It used to not be that bad, but with the portal and with NFL drafts now, like they used to be, they still played. It didn't matter, but now they sit out. It's crazy. Well, I think Joe Milton sat out was it last year?
John says Michigan's quarterback is a walk-on.
Oh, true story. Shoosh. Well, then I'm.
that answers that question real quick, doesn't it?
There's just some insider
A walk-on
information.
versus a 5-star.
Even
yeah.
if he hadn't played this year, I'll take it. I like my chances with him.
Yeah. Okay, so next game on the pick list. We ready to move on, or did you?
Yeah,
want to
move
harp
on.
Alabama
Yeah,
some
we
more?
both covered Bama.
Beat
South Carolina.
Beat it to the ground. So this next one is South Carolina versus Illinois.
Yep.
Illinois is ranked 20.
Yeah. They've been teetering on that in between 20 and 25 all year, but I think that's a matter of a schedule. I'm not sure they played.
Illinois Fighting Illini.
Yeah. Penn State beat them, I know. Oregon killed them, I believe. Yeah. And I don't know.
They lost to Minnesota.
Yeah.
Minnesota. Oregon beat them 38-9. They scored 9 points on Oregon.
Yeah. Yeah. So they're the big.
Holy mackerel! They almost lost to Purdue.
Yeah.
Purdue's like one of the worst in the country, and
Purdue's
it was
coach
final
got
and
fired.
overtime.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they only beat them by 1 point in overtime.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't think Illinois is that great.
Wow. Penn State beat the snot out of them.
Yeah, and I think the spread's 9.5, unless, again, broken record, unless some players for South Carolina don't play.
You beat Purdue by 1 point, and somehow you're ranked number 20 in the top 25 in the country. I'm not really sure how that works.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know who their biggest wins. Like I said, they lost to Oregon, lost to Penn State.
They don't have any big wins.
Yeah, their biggest win.
Biggest win is Purdue.
No.
Oh, Michigan. They beat Michigan.
Yeah.
They beat Michigan pretty handily.
So, yeah,
And Michigan State. So, I mean,
Well,
if
Michigan
you can't,
State's down though. They're
if
not
you
the same
can only
Michigan
beat
State.
Purdue by 1 point, you ain't gonna do 10 points on South Carolina. Oh, it's a 9.5.
Yeah, there's your half.
Yes.
I don't like my trend here.
I'm gonna pick South Carolina 10.5. Yeah, I mean Vegas should know.
9.5.
No, I'm gonna pick 10.5.
Oh, yeah. You're stupid.
My Bob Barker 1
Bob
point.
Barker,
That's
yeah.
right.
God. I love it though. Don't change.
Just a fun thing to do.
Oh God.
But yeah, and I mean Vegas, oddly enough, they went from 10.5 to 9.5.
Yeah, I don't know.
So they're leaning towards Illinois Fighting Illini. I don't even know what a Illini is.
That's a
Is that
I want to
actually
say like a
thing?
tribe. Yeah.
Oh, it's the Illini. So that's probably what Illinois was named after.
Yeah, I want to say it has something to do with Native American. I believe.
It's not, I'm not going to find it.
The spread 9.5. Actually, that makes me go okay. I might even put a bet on this with South Carolina.
It's based on the Illinois Confederation, where the Illini, the Illiniwek, were made up of 12 or 13 tribes who
Yeah.
lived in the Mississippi River Valley. Interesting.
That's cool.
Learn something new every day. But that doesn't change my pick.
No,
Not changing my pick.
Mine either, yeah.
Not going to change my pick.
And I could go down a rabbit hole. I had a question, but
ahead.
I don't want to go down it.
Go down it.
So,
We're almost to the exciting part where we start talking about NFL championships.
I don't know. So the Cleveland Indians, or they wanted to change Atlanta Braves. This is essentially the same thing.
Same thing.
But I mean, that's history, though, right?
I think that
that's
the
a good
Redskins and all, I
Yeah.
think that was all ridiculouslishness.
thing. Yeah. But, yeah.
Now, instead of the Washington Redskins, we've got the Washington Commies.
Commanders.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm not happy with it. So
Yeah.
it's like the Washington
Yeah.
Commies, right? So now we're
True.
representing the truth behind Washington. It's the Washington Commies.
Yeah. I don't know.
I'm not happy with it. The thing is my grandfather, remember Mr. PBR, man?
Yeah.
That was his favorite team was the Washington Redskins. He lived in Cincinnati, but his favorite team was the Washington.
Yeah.
And like if the Bengals were on and the Washington Redskins were on, we didn't watch the Bengals.
You watch Redskins?
We watched the
Wow.
Redskins.
He loved them, yeah.
Oh, he was in.
They had a real I always remember John Riggin was like a really good running back for him when I was young.
I mean, the Redskins used to be the thing back in the day.
Yeah, they were good.
They had some good times
Yeah.
back in the day.
Yep. So yeah,
So we're both picking the same
and
thing.
like the spread 9.5.
We're
if you're
picking
gonna-
a lot of covers here. This is.
I know. I don't think. Yeah, we've covered all the way down, and
You know
I
what's
don't
going
like
to
that
happen?
trend.
Pablo Mack is going to go like 5-0 again, and
Go opposite of us.
that's right.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
So. Yeah.
So are we done with this
9.5
game?
favor South Carolina, though. I would go because 10 points, a 10-point win, you're in. I like that.
I like that
I
call.
might bet them. All
Yeah.
right. Yeah, moving on. Is this the last one of our picks on our
Oh
survey?
boy, it's my other favorite guy,
Man, yeah. You got like 3 man crushes in
Lane
the
Kiffin.
SEC.
Lane Kiffin. You know, Lane Kiffin is.
But it's out of hatred.
For me, it's mixed emotions. So I think I like the entertainment value of
Yeah.
what Lane Kiffin does, the way he acts, the things
Yeah.
he says. There was 2 coaches, the SEC championship game. They had Sark and they had Kirby, both sitting down being interviewed together. And the interviewer said something along the lines of, do you guys really have a text chat that you guys chat back and forth, all the SEC coaches?
Uh-huh.
And both of them looked at each other and they said, yeah, we do. She says, oh, you guys must participate a lot. No, we don't. And then Sark goes, yeah, there's one coach in the SEC that participates a lot. I bet you can guess who that is.
Yeah.
And basically it was, it's Kiffin, right?
No,
he just
yeah.
always talks trash.
Like if you would have just asked me, you told me that, and you said, who do you think it is? Kiffin would be. I
Lane
feel like,
Kiffin.
and I feel like if you put that out there to anybody,
Hands down.
told the story and said, who do you think participates the most? I bet Kiffin runs away
Lane
with
Kiffin.
it.
Texting all the time.
Yeah, yeah. It's like a little girl.
And both of them looked at each other and just smiled. Like I wish we had that video clip. I should
Yeah.
have brought that.
That's
I need to bring
funny.
some of this to the show with me, don't I?
You do like that one Texas Tech coach. That was
Oh, that
good.
was a good clip. But
That
you
was very
found that
good.
one. That was a good one. You found that one.
Yeah, but you know how to. I couldn't have.
Put the tech.
If you paid me $1 million,
the technology to figure out how to put it on there.
Here's what I would have done: put it on my phone and held it up to the camera. I couldn't have figured it out.
Well, anyway, so Kiffin is expected to blow out Duke. Oh, and this kind of leads us into the next conversation piece here in a second. We'll talk about that in a second. But both of them are 9-3, and
Does
Ole Miss
Jackson
is
Dart
picked.
play?
Jackson Dart has already said he's going to play. So
That's scary.
So now this makes me nervous because I'm sitting here thinking, man, Jackson Dart's good. Vegas has gone from 12 to 14.5. So I may be picking 15.5.
Look what I just wrote down.
Oh, you're going to do a no cover.
Yep.
Wow.
Because I get the hook. And have I ever explained this to you what the hook is?
Yes.
What is it?
Has to do with the half point thing. doesn't it?
Yes, you remember. The crowd loves it. Yes.
Has to do with the
High
half.
tide.
High tide. High tide. High tide.
Did you remember that, or you always knew that?
No, I didn't know it. You
so you remembered
taught it to me in the show.
I'm so freaking
It doesn't
proud
change
of
my
you.
feeling about the Bob Barker, but
No, and it doesn't have to. But I'm just proud you remembered something
yeah,
that
I remember.
said.
No, I didn't remember how it works or any
Yeah,
of the
yeah,
details
yeah.
of it. I just remember you saying that, you know. I don't even-
The hook can get you one way or the other.
So explain the hook again so that I can get
14 and a
refreshed.
half is that hook. So now that makes, and this is why if I were, and I could do it, Duke or Ole Miss is 14 and a half point favorites.
So Ole Miss
So
wins by
meaning-
14. What happens?
Duke wins because of that hook. Because they got under the 14 and a half. Because
And
you
somehow-
can't score half points.
Somehow
So Ole Miss would have to
scores
win.
15 points.
Then, yes, they have to score 15. And, you know, if you look at the points, touchdown 6 point, extra point 7. So the natural progression of the game, you know, if you just score touchdowns, well, they just have to stay 2 touchdowns behind.
So if Ole Miss scores 15 and a half, dun, 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 dun.
It's impossible! But, yeah, they score 15. If they score 15 and a half, you'll be the first person to know. Any team scores a half a point.
That's what they need to do, make overtime points half points.
Watch them do that one.
Overtime now will be
God.
half points. Then you
would-
always know when it's an overtime game if they do half points.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Well, no, actually you wouldn't, right? If they do 2 half points.
No, because if they
2 overtimes. It's not going to work. You have to make it 1.5. No, even with the 1.5,
Yeah.
they could get 2 overtimes. It'd be 3 points. That's
instead
not
of
going
it
to
being-
work.
instead of it-
Dadgummit.
yeah, I told you, there's no way possible.
Even if you got half points, you're still going to run into whole points. You can't force a half
Yeah.
point during an overtime.
2 halves make a whole. And you were a
Dadgummit.
math teacher.
Dadgummit.
Yep. Not gonna.
So
work.
that means that the first overtime would have to be a half point. The second overtime would have to be 1 point.
Yeah, one.
And then the third overtime would have to be half point.
1.5 points.
No. If the second overtime is 1 point. So if you do half
Only
point on
one
the first
Can
overtime,
be half, and then you
and
can't.
the second overtime is 1 point,
Yeah.
you're still at a half.
Yeah. Well, you can't go back to any more half points.
That's right. Then you got to do 1 points every time
Yeah.
to keep it at a half
Yeah.
point. So that means the first overtime would be a half point, and then every overtime after that would be a whole point.
So basically, this is not going to work for you. You're not. Oh, my ears. You're not going to. It's not going to work. Not going to do it. Not going to
Boom
happen.
shakalaka!
So that's if the NCAA is listening, first
Sure they're
overtime
not.
first overtime should always be a half point,
Yeah.
and actually you have to make it to where no that wouldn't matter because if both teams didn't
Oh,
score,
my God.
then the game would be over. So as long as the first overtime is a half point, then you would know based on the score for every future
Yes.
game that it was an overtime game,
Yeah. Oh, that went to overtime. Now, that's a good point you make there.
right?
A
So
good
then
half
you would
point.
know every overtime game had a half point.
Yeah. Well, and it would indicate.
And then
if
I
I'm-
could do my Bob Barker 1.5
Yeah. You would be hoping for overtime every time.
every time. I just want 1 round of overtime every game. That's all I want. 1 round of
You
overtime.
and your dumb half point.
You gonna buzz me?
I don't know what I was gonna do. There's so many different.
The
buttons
boomy?
I could- Yeah, that's what I was gonna.
I like turtles.
So we need to nail you down. They boo a lot. Whew, calm down, crowd.
The
Calm
boo
down.
is kind of long. I need to cut that back some.
So I showed you. I'm taking.
So does that mean I'm covering everything?
you're going Ole Miss? Old Kiffin.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. Ole Miss.
Texting Kiffin. Group text Kiffin.
I have to get on.
Man,
I
you
have
went
to
all
get on.
covers.
Well, I don't even have to get on Kiffy's group text because all I have to do is follow him on X or Twitter or whatever it is. Because that's where I get. That's where he posts everything. He posts on X all
Yeah.
the time, and I think he gets a lot of recruits that way.
Oh, I mean he.
From his trash talking, I bet he gets a
Yeah,
ton of
yeah.
recruits.
Yeah, he at least gets a lot of follows from recruits.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay, so now just don't forget whenever you do your survey, right? Be sure at the end to put something down here, preferably
Yeah,
something that's not
name.
X-rated.
Yeah, we wouldn't if it's something
Towns.
Yeah. Well, we're
We're going to edit it before it goes out to the world.
You can see RVJ. We adjusted.
Yeah, we're adjusting things. So anyway, but that's go ahead and fill out the survey, hit done,
Yeah.
and then you should be good to go. So now we get to talk about the fun stuff.
Survey will recognize you the next week, and you get your name on this prestigious show.
So that's what our plan is going to be going forward, is to knock off all the checklist items at the beginning of the show, which, holy crap, we're already at, well, we got started really late because we blew up the show at the beginning. So
if you have the analytics up, it'll tell us how far in we're in. We're about an hour and a half in. But yeah, we're doing okay. We got time to talk about a couple little things here.
it only shows us average view duration, but I guess now it shows us down here. Isn't it? Oh, it does.
Yeah. Wow, that's why I like to keep. It's not.
It's got lots of data on here. I'm not even paying any attention.
So
I'm
back
too busy
to our
watching the
pre-show,
chat.
like that's how I know the time.
With John telling us about how Michigan's got a
Walk on
quarterback.
Yeah.
So this is why we like having more people participate in the live show, because
It makes for good talk,
makes a lot of good conversation.
good interaction, right?
Speaking of good interaction, if Reagan was joining us, he's also a North Carolina fan, and I'm sure he's thrilled that North Carolina has decided to bring the winningest coach of all time. Would you say?
Oh yeah, this is huge.
At least winningest NFL.
Probably known as the best NFL coach living right now.
Let's see, who has won more? Who has won the most Super Bowls? Oh, what coach? What coach
I think it's Bill Belichick.
has won? What coach has the most Super Bowl rings? There we go. Bill Belichick.
Yeah.
That is true. So Bill Belichick has
He's
more
got 8.
Super Bowl rings than anybody else. And he is now going to be, in his words,
Yeah.
he's going to be training up future college players to play in the NFL with his NFL-style offense.
I'd say very surprising to hear that he's going back to coaching one and then to college.
Well, and he has a background with North Carolina. I didn't realize this, but I guess his dad was a coach at UNC.
Okay.
And so he actually, as a child, grew up at UNC on the sidelines while Dad was a coach. They had a picture of him. One of the shows had a picture of him when he was a little kid sitting in the bleachers at the North Carolina game.
Do you know where he was born?
No, I have no clue.
Don't look it up. I know it.
Tell me.
Nashville.
Bill Belichick was... Oh, I think that this has been a conversation because there was
I don't know if you
conversation
and I
about
have had
Bill
it, but-
Belichick coming to coach the Titans.
Yeah. He was born in Nashville. And I think he used to live or lives. He's ran in the marathon in Nashville.
Was he the one that went to McGavick? It seemed like there was a coach that went to McGavick.
What do you mean, like
McGavick
just
High School?
visited or went to school? He didn't
Went
go
to school there.
No, I don't think so. No, I just know he was born here. I want to say he had a short coaching stint at Vandy. I could be wrong.
No, his dad did. His dad was a coach at Vandy.
I thought you just said North Carolina.
No, he coached at both.
Okay, I got you.
In fact, I think North Carolina got him from Vandy. And at the press
Yeah.
conference, they actually brought up the letter talking about his little son Billy was
Okay.
coming with him.
Okay.
And that he had coached at Vandy and blah, 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 blah,
Without looking, too, the part of why I say it's surprising he's going back to coaching, which you already got, you see it there. He's 72 years old.
Annapolis High School. So that's what I guess
Maryland.
His dad was a coach at Maryland too, I guess.
Yeah.
Is his dad not listed on here?
No, scroll. Oh, yeah, no.
There it is, Steve Belichick.
There you go.
So, born in Pennsylvania, died in Annapolis, Maryland.
Yeah.
Played
So he
football,
coached
Western
at
Reserve.
Vanderbilt.
Played for the Detroit Lions
Yeah. Oh.
as a fullback. Coached at Hiram, whichever that is. He was the backfield coach at Vandy, the backfield
3
coach at
years.
North Carolina,
Okay.
and then Navy's backfield coach and scout. And he was a coach for basketball, so he coached 2 sports at Hiram, wherever Hiram
Hiram,
is.
yeah.
Where's Hiram? I don't
There it
know.
is. You were just on it. Yeah.
Hiram College in Hiram, Ohio.
In Ohio. I didn't even know that was the name of a town. Hiram, Ohio. Division III.
They're Division III sporting
Wow.
affiliation. Interesting. Racing
That
down.
makes sense. John
That's
says-
why he was coaching both basketball
No,
and football.
I was laughing at Mac Brown, who was the previous coach, and he was old.
Mac Brown
102.
was 102.
Yeah.
No, he was not.
No, he wasn't 102, but he was old.
Well, and I guess that's a North Carolina tradition then, huh?
Yeah, so 72 is, see how old Mac Brown? 73.
73.
They got a whole year younger at college. You know who?
Yeah,
Mac-
but they, dude, come on now.
You know who-
Mac Brown was good. I'm not saying he wasn't. Mac Brown was born in Cookville.
Yes, stop looking at this. I have all this in my head. Do you know who his brother is?
He went to
Without
school
looking?
at Vandy.
Yes, you're ruining. I hate your Google. I can tell you this from my head. Now everybody thinks we just look it up. I know that. You know who's his brother? Don't look.
I don't
look
know
at me.
who's. I don't know who his brother is.
Watson Brown, who coached at Vanderbilt.
Yeah, I don't know Watson Brown. I wouldn't have known Watson Brown.
Yeah, and he coached. Yeah, he coached at Vandy, coached at UAB. I mean, there's so many ties.
That's his
to
brother.
Vandy.
You said.
Mac Brown's brother is Watson Brown. Yes,
I wouldn't have known Watson Brown. I don't know. The
and
coaches
Mac
for
went to Vandy too. Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah,
A lot of connections to Vandy going over to North Carolina. That's interesting.
yeah. You know who else coached? I thought it wasn't Bill Belichick. Well, you corrected me. It was his dad. Who else had a small stint at Vanderbilt? I'm pretty sure.
Who?
Bill Parcells.
Really?
Yeah.
Man.
I mean,
Everybody who's anybody coached at Vanderbilt except for
At
Derek
some
Mason,
point.
who's not a
Yeah.
not a somebody.
He's a
Who was it? Townsend gonna be pissed at me because he likes Derek
Yeah.
Mason? Is that who it is?
okay.
And he was talking about, oh my gosh, Derek Mason coming to MTSU. You know, they need to just get rid of him.
I can't believe they hired him.
Well,
Um,
there was dreams that he was going to do big things, and I guess I should have taken that as an indication that he was not going to do big things whenever I mentioned, hey, you could actually win your conference. And he said, let's not talk that big.
Yeah.
Yeah, now we know why, because he
Yeah.
can't even freaking win one game.
so you said that to him, and that was his response.
His response was, yeah, let's tone it down.
See?
Well, when you
See?
tone it down, then guess what? You have that attitude,
Yep.
and the players feed off of that. The players recognize
Yeah.
that you think you're going to lose.
Oh yeah.
If the players think you're going to lose, then guess what? You're
Yeah.
going to lose. Like, you got to be pumped. You got to be ready to go. Like,
Well-
that was why Franklin won at Vandy, because he was fired up.
Yeah.
He had the energy.
Yeah.
And I mean,
Well-
Clark's got the energy, man. I've seen him on the sidelines. When he gets mad, he goes off.
Yeah. Well, that's we can say with confidence that Derek Mason is no Bill Belichick. To get back to, I mean, how big of a surprise this could have been a survey question. How big of a surprise of Bill Belichick getting back into coaching, college, nonetheless.
Yeah, it's a crazy.
I don't
thing.
know that unless you knew him, maybe like close. To me, it's a huge surprise. I don't know.
And he
I
has
just-
2 Super Bowl champions as an assistant coach. I didn't even know that.
Wow, I didn't either.
Who were those with? Who was he an assistant coach at?
Yeah.
The Colts, the Lions, the Broncos. Where did he win as an assistant coach? As the Patriots? As an assistant coach?
Before he was head coach, maybe. I'm not sure.
That would have been Super Bowl XXI and XXV.
So, also getting to this
So that's-
Belichick, there was something else I'd be interested to see.
Been
So
the Giants or the Broncos. Maybe he was under Bill Parcells at the Giants.
yeah, could have been. Could have been. I think it was.
Yeah. So he won Super Bowl championships when he was assistant coach under Bill Parcells with the Giants.
I think so. I don't know for sure. I think so.
Interesting.
I mean, he's a great coach. What's something I'm interested in seeing too with him being at the effect on recruiting. Right now, early signing period was December what I have written down here. December Dang, when did I have it written down? Oh, November 4th to the 6th was early. So they only players sign.
What?
So this is
you're
before,
talking about North Carolina.
Yes, North Carolina. So this is what is his impact going to do? So by the time
For recruiting.
recruiting. So by the time February 5th comes around, signing day, National Signing Day, what's the class going to look like from today that only has 7? Like, and then is he? It'll be. It's got to have a huge impact in getting players there, I would think.
So National Signing Days in February. I don't know
February
how I didn't
the
realize
5th.
that.
Yeah, it's always been the first Wednesday in.
Transfer window for FBS and FCS December 9th. A lot of crazy dates.
The transfer portal opens December 9th and goes to like December I have that written down too, the 28th, I think. And it closes April 16th to the 25th.
Now, for some reason, I was thinking there was already making decisions.
Yeah, so the April portal day is not as huge. It all happens early now. Because your signing day, last year and the last couple years, only for a couple years now, they had the early signing period, which is, and it used to be about the 19th. They moved it back. This year is the first year they moved it before the portal. And so it all, signing day and portal day, they kind of all coincide and makes it. And I think people get excited. Jared left us for a second. He's checking on the connection. But I don't know for sure why they moved early signing day before the portal. But they did. I think it's going to affect it in some way. They also, some changes this year, they put a cap on roster size, 5 players on a college roster, which right now they didn't have a limit, but the average roster that every college average players was 128. So that means they're going to have to cut down about 23 players. So I'm talking about some recruiting changes and roster changes.
There's a roster limit?
Yeah, they just starting this year is going to be 100. That's all you can have on a roster. But they have upped the.
So it almost effectively creates a salary cap.
Well,
in a way.
Well, what it's going to do is knock out your walk-ons. You're not going to have your traditional walk-on anymore because the amount of scholarships you can give from 85 to 105. So essentially,
so everybody gets a scholarship.
Everybody on the roster will now have a scholarship, essentially being paid as well. So.
But being paid NIL is different than scholarship, though.
Yes, but if you read, I was reading. I was reading a little bit about it. Each conference will split. I can't remember if it was. I think it was $22 million towards money for players, meaning scholarship or whatever. I read that earlier today, and pretty. I don't know how it's going to affect, but it said it's going to knock out your kind of traditional walk-ons. Anybody that wanted to try to walk on, and then it's also going to. I don't know if it's going to make more parity or not. If you had 123 on a roster, or 128's the average on a roster, where's those 23 going?
Where the rest of your players?
Yeah, the average roster was 128.
They're going to go to someplace else.
And then
or they're not going to play.
Like your D2, FCS, D3, NAIA.
Lower level teams perform.
To get some better talent.
Maybe.
Because you know what I would do right now if I was a head coach of Division III or even NAI. Like if I was a head coach at Cumberland, I would compile. I don't know. I would compile rosters. I'd go to Vandy's roster and get
all the ones.
I'd get one player 106 to 128. Say, can I have their names? I'm gonna see if they'll come to Cumberland. They can stay in Nashville. Come down the road to Lebanon and play at Cumberland.
Cumberland is FCS, right?
No, they're NAI.
Oh, they're even lower.
Yeah, but I would,
FCS, right?
you know, some of them walk-ons, maybe they just, you know, you never know. It's worth a shot, right? If you're a D3 or NAI school, why not hit up those last 30 players that are on a roster that are walk-ons? I would.
So,
Did you get
you think
yeah,
that
excellent. All your little hurry and
I'm not
give
trying to
us
figure
excellent
out
connection.
what's going on here? Why it's jacking me over?
I don't know. That's what I would do.
Probably blame it on AT&T. So if you're getting lagging, I'm going to blame it on AT&T.
Yeah, T's fault.
Yeah. Because, I mean, we've upgraded all of our equipment. Like, we've got the best of the best now. We're still getting screwed, so it's got to be
Yeah.
AT&T's fault.
I don't know. It's good now.
Yeah. Not because they're having to deal with lagging crap.
Yeah. They come back. We're back.
Can you imagine trying to do this in the outside of this?
Yeah, we have any troubles here.
We got like good connections here.
Yeah.
Can't even
It'd be
imagine.
rough. But
Like we really need to contact News Channel 5.
I don't know.
Get their
about that.
TV truck or something crazy like that.
But yeah, so a little bit of recruiting talk there. A little bit of portal talk. But I think we can kind of start to wrap it up here.
I felt like there was something else I wanted to talk about.
Well, I can give you another fun fact.
Oh, I know what it is I want to talk about. Let me see if I can find it. Hang
Well,
on.
as you're finding it, if we're talking about recruiting, answer me this,
Answer
how
me
many
this.
SEC teams,
Batman.
top 10 recruiting classes right now?
All of them.
7 out of 10 SEC schools. And basically, the rich are just getting richer in recruiting class.
But we
The
also
portal,
said that portal and NIL leveled the playing field. So that's kind of a contradiction of terms.
Well, no, it's not. Because recruiting and portal are two different things.
So
Recruiting
the rich
is
are getting richer on the front end,
from the high school player,
and
going to college.
then they get there, and then they're like, "I'm out." Get more money. Now that I've played at the big
No, not
because they're not going to be
necessarily.
playing, right? I mean, if they're just coming in. I know Tennessee doesn't play them the
No,
first year.
you know who's leaving the portal?
Is
So
it-
when Johnny Five-Star comes in as a freshman, backup Joe, junior backup Joe is
He's
going
out.
crap because senior Sam graduated. That was the starting quarterback, and junior thought he was going to be the quarterback. Here comes Johnny Five-Star, and then he knows that they're going with Johnny Five-Star because they just paid him $1 million NIL money. So junior Joe goes, I'm going to go to Virginia to play.
But Texas got Arch Manning, and then Arch Manning didn't play.
But he's still there.
Your junior on. And actually, they were talking about
Senior
how
Sam is gone.
they were talking
Quinn
about-
Ewers is leaving.
I thought he still had.
Is he?
I thought he did. He was
a
actually
senior.
talking about going someplace else. I think that there's rumors that he was going to go someplace else.
Oh,
Went into the portal.
so Junior Joe's leaving, or Senior Sam, and then
Senior Sam
They're
and
gonna
Junior
give it-
Joe. This
yeah.
is hilarious.
yeah. So
Let's see. Quinn Ewers. Texas told to play. Quinn Ewers. I'm going to put Quinn Ewers and see what we get.
see that article that Texas was told to play Arch Manning.
Well, Texas can be told lots of things. Transfer portal rumors.
Yeah, that big a name you would have heard already.
This one here says Quinn Ewers will transfer back to the Ohio State Buckeyes in 2025.
That was 5 days ago.
This was 3 hours ago about transfer portal rumors.
Yeah. So I mean, it's all by the time he decides, like I'm sure it's quiet, right?
And then conversations about the NFL draft and
Yeah.
rumors. Yeah, nobody knows.
Yeah.
I wonder if he's going to play in the well, it's the championship. I mean, you're not going to sit that one out.
That's why you're going to get.
You're not going to see him give an answer until after the championship's
Yeah, that's
over.
why all these
Portal's not over until after the championship's over too, right?
No.
Portal's still going to be open, right?
No, it'll be closed December 28th.
Well, this is going to be a way to keep players because they're going to have to stay on until the end of the championship.
No, Jared, he can enter in April.
Oh yeah, he can go in April.
No, yeah, I mean it's not.
But we won't know until.
Yeah. They can win a national championship.
Yeah.
But.
So
Yeah.
what I wanted to also talk about was we've talked a little bit about. And so ultimately, right, when we talk about money, we're talking about ship.
You got it up there.
I need to move this down a little bit here. If I can do
I
that.
think it was.
You know, if you're a Georgia Bulldog fan, you probably didn't think that was fine because they get it off by our picture. Anyway, so
Why didn't you just hit full screen?
because now the picture's moved. So see, if you look, our picture kept blocking the numbers there. So Georgia is blowing everybody out on average per game viewership. See, now it's cut again. See, look. 8.6 million.
Yeah.
Nobody cares about Georgia. Who
No,
cares?
I mean that's fine. Yeah.
Anyway, 6, and guess who? Guess what? Ohio State and Michigan are on the list,
Yeah.
but who else? Everybody else on this list is SEC.
SEC. Yeah.
Top 10. Is this top 10, I think? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Yeah. Top 10
And
most watched college football teams.
All SEC teams except for Ohio State and Michigan. So,
That just tells you Midwest down to the South cares about college football. Midwest in particular only cares about 2 teams.
Ohio State and Michigan.
Yep.
Now, but this also goes back to that conversation we had earlier about what is really the best thing for college football going forward. Is it